Divya Mimohita Mati Vatamayalam Sarjana Jarikitamati Madhupuspitayam Vaitanike Mohati Karamani Vijamana. So Siddhartha Swami says, as a physician, without knowing the presence of Mrita Sanjivani, in Ayurvedic medicine system, there is a medicine which is called Mrita Sanjivani. Mrita Sanjivani, Mrita means dead, and Sanjivani means giving life. Even a dead man can get life by drinking that medicine. It is a strong tonic, it is still used in Ayurvedic medicine. Some of the biggest manufacturers of Ayurvedic medicine, they prepare and it has a good sale. So, it may not be exactly the same Mrita Sanjivani, but it is very well known. So Siddhartha Swami says, just like a person is suffering from fever, so according to Ayurvedic medicine, trikot, tri means three and kotu means bitter. Trikoto, just like neem fruit, kalmek and chirata, they are prescribed, very bitter to eat. So Siddhartha Swami gives these examples without knowing that there is a very nice medicine, Mrita Sanjivani. There takes so many troublesome medicines. Similarly, the great stalwart leaders of religious principles, without knowing this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they take to so many troublesome multi-ritualistic ceremonies. Vinsati Prakar Dharma Shastra. There are 20 kinds of Dharma Shastra composed by Manu, Parashar and others. They are very difficult. All of them are meant for counteracting our sinful life. This, as we have explained, material life is so arranged that even if you do not like to commit some sin, in course of your life, there will be sinful reaction. Just like we sing the prayers of Vishwanath Chakravarti, Samsara Dava Nanalira Loka. This world is so situated that there is a blazing fire always in this material world. Even if you do not want, still that fire is there. Nobody wants blazing fire. Davanala. Davanala means forest fire. Nobody goes to set fire in the forest, but it takes place. Similarly, this material world is also like that. Nobody wants, but still a miserable condition of life coming. Just like in Calcutta, nobody wanted the nationalized disturbance, but it has come. There are so many troubles, and why this happens? Because there are unconscious activities of sinful life. Just like we are walking on the street, unconsciously we are killing so many small ants and insects. Unconsciously. I do not wish to kill, but we are having situated, we are being situated in material condition of life, we are unconsciously killing so many living entities. Therefore, according to the Vedic rite, the injunction is that one has to perform yajnas, sacrifices. And without that sacrifice, you will be liable to be punishment for the unconscious killing of small animals. As such, those who are actually fearful of a sinful reaction of life, they perform yajnas. But here it is said that the Mahajans, the great leaders of religion, without knowing this simple method of getting out of sinful life, they take to so many yajnas prescribed in the Vedas. Prayana Veda tadidang mahajanoyang devya vimahitamati batamayayal. Practically, they are also bewildered by the influence of Maya. They do not know that there is such a medicine. The example is given, Mrita Sanjamani. But they take to bitter medical drugs like neem, chirata and kalme. That is explained by Siddhartha. Mitachandamani Bisham Ajananta Ausadam Ajananta Vaidya Rogonir Haranaya Trikotu Nimbadini Smarant Tatha Sayamusamma Pramukha Dadasa Batirekenayang Mahajana Ati Gujham Idam agyatya dadasabdikam smaranti. So, the great compiler of religious scriptures, headed by Mano and others, without knowing the simple method, they prescribe gorgeous ritualistic ceremonies. Kincha mayadibbalam vimahitam mati ayang jana madhurang jata bhavati evam puspitaya puspasthaniya rathavadi manoharayang sajjang jarigita abhinivishta matijjasa ataeva mahati eva karmani agnistomadav saddhaya jujjaman. So, being bewildered by the material or external energy, they take to these gorgeous ceremonies or sacrificial performances. Actually, there is no need. The whole thing is that Siddhartha Swami is giving stress very strongly that you can simply chant Hare Krishna mantra without undergoing any ritualistic ceremony. Actually, it is very difficult to understand. Madhavendra Puri, our predecessor, Acharya, he also has composed a nice verse. He says, my dear Gayatri Mantra, I offer you my respect, but no more I can chant Gayatri Mantra. In this way, taking bath early in the morning, that's a good recommendation for spiritual advancement. But Madhavendra says, now I am unable to execute this order. Please excuse me. In this way, he has described in many ways. At last he concludes that I shall sit down somewhere underneath a tree and simply remember Govinda's name. That is sufficient. He says, please excuse me, please excuse me, please excuse me. But this Madhavendra statement is not for the neophyte devotees. We should not imitate Madhavendra. Madhavendra Puri was the spiritual master of Ishwar Puri. Ishwar Puri was the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, the position of Madhavendra Puri, the position of Haridas Thakur, they are different from our position. We should not imitate that because Madhavendra Puri gave up everything and simply concentrated his mind in chanting Mahamantra, Hare Krishna or Haridas Thakur. Therefore, I shall also do that. I shall not rise early in the morning, I shall not take bath, I shall not worship the deity, simply I shall. That is not possible. That is not possible. But actually, if anyone can chant Hare Krishna mantra offenselessly and in devotion and love, that the first thing is love, not force. Love. It is called automatically, spontaneously. Spontaneous. That's like Rupa Goswami. He says that how I shall chant Hare Krishna mantra in one tongue. If I had hundreds and thousands of tongues, then I could chant and relish what is Hare Krishna mantra. That is a different stage. We should not imitate. But actually this is a fact that simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you can get relief from all kinds of performances, ritualistic ceremonies. That is the point stressed by Siddhartha. Evam vimishya sudhiya bhagavati anante sarvatmana vidadhati khalu bhavajugam timena dandam arahanti athajagdamishan syat pasasang tadapi jantu rugaya bada. Now Jamaraj is saying that evam vimishya sudhiya bhagavati anante, one who is so much attached unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead that he constantly associates with him simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra or by performing the devotional service. Jamaraj does not, to give only stress on the Hare Krishna mantra. He is giving stress and different process of devotional service. Bhagavati anante sarvasana vidadhati khalu bhavaju. Sarvasana. Sarvasana means in all respects. And bhavajogam means bhakti yogam. If anyone seriously takes to bhakti yoga process without any reservation, that means Shuddha Bhakti, unallied devotional service, Annavilasita Sundam Jnana Karmadhanabhitam, as we have explained several times. Then, Evam Vimishya Sudhiyo Bhagavati Anante Sarvatmana. There is another verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Devarsi Bhutapta Ninam Pitrinam Nayang Rinina Kinkara Rajan Sarvatmanajav Saranang Saranang Gato Makundang Parihuttu. Sarvatmana. This word is very important. The Krishna also asks, when he says that giving up all other kinds of engagement a religious process, simply surrender unto me. And that is called sarvatmana. With all heart, with all intention, without any reservation, sarvatmana, the exact meaning. So Jamaraj says that one who has taken to devotional service, sarvatmana, very seriously and without any deviation, sarvatmana vidadati khalu havaju, te me na dandam arhanti. They are not, I would say, within the jurisdiction of my punishment. It is clearly said. Jamadanda, those who are devotees, they are out of the jurisdiction of ruling of Jamaraj. It is especially stated here, te me na dandam arhanti. They are not liable for my punishment. Even they commit some mistake or fall down, or even they commit very sinister, sinful activities, still they are not under my jurisdiction. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, apite sudurachara bhajate mam anandabha, sadhureva samanta. But these concessions, there are many other concessions. Krishna says that anyone who is engaged in devotional service, if unintentionally commits some mistake and offense, I excuse. So these are special cases. Not that because Krishna promises to excuse, because Krishna says that even though he has committed such sinful activities, still he is a sadhu, and although Jamaraj says that those who are engaged in devotional service, they are out of my jurisdiction of punishment. So we should not take advantage of these concessions. That is it. That is a great offense, greatest offense. Namnath balajas sahi papa. These concessions are there for the devotees, but not for intentional committing sinful activities. If by accident, if by previous habit, one commits some mistake or falls down, that is excused and one should be repentant. My dear Lord, I have committed this offense, please excuse me, and one should fast, one should be very much repentant. And then Krishna is so kind, but he hasn't got to take to the prayaschitta or what is called atonement system. A devotee hasn't got to do that. A devotee's sinful activities is excused, and if he is repented, then he is again elevated to his original position. That is the verdict of all Shastras. And here also the Jamaraj says that te me na dandam arhanti atha jadi amishang sat patakam tadavi hanti urugaya bada. Even if he has committed some sinful activities, because he is chanting the glories of the Lord, his sinful activities not taken into account. Excuse. Te deva siddha parigita pavitra gatha je sadhava samadisa bhagavat prapanya. Bhagavat prapanna. How Jamaraj is eulogizing the devotees. Devotees is Bhagavat prapanna. Bhagavat means to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prapanna means fully surrender. Bhagavat prapanya, the same thing is corroborated here. So just like Krishna says, aham tva sarvapapi bhamakhasya. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Because there is declaration by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, his servant, the executor of the criminal department, Jamaraj, he also says that te devasiddha parigita pavitra gatha je sadhava samadisa bhagavat prapanna. That a devotee who has fully surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are worshipped by Devaloka, Siddhaloka. The demigods also they worship. They show full respect. Now, Krishna says that Kamastasya hitagyana jajanti annadevata. Those who are worshippers of the demigods, they are bewildered by their lusty desires. And here, Jamaraj says that Deva Siddha Parigita Pavitra Gatha. And a devotee is worshipped by the Deva, demigods. Just try to understand the opposite direction. That those who are ordinarily enthused by lust and greediness, greed, they go to worship demigods. But if one becomes a devotee of the Lord, the demigod worship. That is the prerogative of devotee. Siddha. Bhavajogam. Yeah, this word is Bhavajogam. Bhava means ecstasy. Ecstasy is yogam. The yoga principle by which one comes to the ecstasy. Just like sometimes while you are chanting Hare Krishna, you come to the ecstatic point. You forget yourself and dance. Forget everything. And that is called Bhava Yoga. To the devotee, it appears sometimes. So Bhava Yoga, there are Astasattvic Bhava, sometimes crying, sometimes stunned, sometimes perspiring. These things come to the devotee. That is not to be practiced artificially. When actually one advances in devotional service, this Bhava Yoga, Astasattvic Bhava, Vikas, comes into existence. Therefore, the devotional service is known also Bhava Yoga. Siddhartha Swami says the Bhava Yogam. Sarvatma vidhasati khalu Bhava Yogam. Shat pathakam. So, Bhava Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Amisang pathakam no sadeva. Jodi sad urgayasya bada kirtanam. Actually, a devotee never commits any sinful activity. They are so careful, they are so sober, and because they are protected by Krishna, they never think of acting anything sinful. But sometimes it happens, because this material world, sometimes we are prone to fall down. A devotee, just like Arjuna, he was not willing to kill his kinsman, although he was so much insulted, he was bereft of his kingdom, his wife was insulted. Still he was thinking that what is the use of killing my family members? Let them enjoy the kingdom. I shall better beg and leave. You are thinking in that way. Because a devotee, Jasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Apinchana Sarvai Gunai Tattva Samasate Sudha. A devotee, a pure devotee, is naturally qualified with all good qualities. Automatically it comes. As he becomes, just like as a man suffering from fever decreases the degree of fever, he becomes healthy. Similarly, with the increase of our degree of devotional service, naturally all the good qualities, that is constitutionally existing in the pure soul. Pure soul, being part and parcel, it is naturally very pure. And Veda says, even when the soul is within the material existence, it is not mixed up. It remains always separate. Just like if you put a drop of oil in the water, it does not mix. Although it is in the water, it does not mix. Similarly, the spirit soul, part and parcel of God, Krishna, although in the material world, he does not mix. Therefore, if there is a process, just like you can pick up the spot of oil floating in the water by some process immediately. Similarly, by Bhakti Yoga process, although the spirit soul is floating in this material ocean, he can be picked up immediately. He can be picked up. Jasantoyam Purusha, the Veda says that this Purusha, the spirit soul, is always unmixed. Unmixed. Therefore, Mahabadi philosophers, they say that this material association is simply a bewilderment. Actually, it does not exist. I am Brahma, I am the same. But actually, although I am the same, because I am associating with the different qualities, I mean the higher qualities or lower qualities of the material nature, then that association will give me a different position, although I am not mixed up with this material existence. So, Siddhartha Swami says, Bhavajogam bhakti amisang patakang na sadeva jadi sad urugayasvada kirtanam. The conclusion is that generally the devotee does not do anything which is sinful, but accidentally, unconsciously, if he does, because he is engaged in chanting or in the devotional service of the Lord, there is no sinful reaction on his life. That is the conclusion. Thank you. Vishnujan is doing very nice. He has printed some literature and he is going for enrolling members. So I think these literature should be rendered into Hindi and Bengali. He has picked up from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam very nicely, presenting this booklet about the missionary activities of Krishna consciousness movement. The Krishna consciousness movement is the genuine Vedic way, and he has done it nicely. So I think this should be translated in different languages. Yeah. The selected portion he has picked up from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is a very nice arrangement. If you simply preach these principles, people will very much appreciate. Where is Giriraj? Sick?
No, he was, last night he had to stay up from 9 o'clock till 2 in the morning, talking with someone. So I told him he should be able to take you out when he came home. Arjuna was lamenting for his friends and relatives because superior qualities all the boys possess. So why did Krishna call him a fool?
Yes, in spite of our superior qualities, we are always full. You should know. Don't be puffed up with your superior qualities. You should remain always full. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he presents himself as a fool. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presents himself before his spiritual master as a fool. So that is a good qualification, to remain a fool. Otherwise, if we become puffed up, oh, I have learnt everything, my business is finished. So there is prone to fall down again. And this, because Arjuna was addressed as a fool, because Krishna accepted, Arjuna accepted Krishna as a spiritual master. So the spiritual master has the right, just like father has the right to say like that. So there is nothing wrong. Kirtanam, Vishnu. This is chanting and hearing of the glories of Vishnu. Hare Nama, Kirtanam. So that is the beginning. Devotional service begins from hearing. Unless there is chanting, what you can hear? Savanadi Suddha Chitte. Savanadi. Savan means hearing. That is the beginning of devotional. As you chant and hear, so you become purified more and more. Then your heart becomes clean. Cheta Darpanamajana. The whole thing is that we have accumulated so many nasty things in our heart. That has to be moved. It is cleansing process. So chanting Hare Krishna mantra means beginning the cleansing process. Cheta Darpanamajanam Bhavamahadavagnividbhapnam. Is it clear? Or you have got any question like that? Bhava Yoga and Bhakti Yoga the same thing, as Siddhartha Swami has explained. Bhava means the previous stage of pure love for God. Tato bhava, after bhava, when we are always absorbed in thought of Krishna, in ecstasy, that is the immediate previous stage of love of God, love of Krishna. And Bhakti Yoga means to invoke our dormant love for God. The same thing. Therefore Bhava Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, the same thing. And another name of Bhakti Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. Actually, yoga means bhakti. But because yoga system has been used in so many other ways, therefore Buddhi Yoga, Bhava Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, these terms are used. Dudha Bhava Samanvita. Without Bhava Yoga, nobody can worship Krishna. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartati iti matya bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Bhajante. Bhajante means engaged in devotional service. Why? Na Buddha bhava samannita. Because he is situated in the bhava. What is that bhava? That bhava is Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. One who is always absorbed in thought, one who sees Krishna's energy in everything, that is called bhava. Buddha bhava samannita. How that bhava comes? When one understands clearly that Krishna is the origin of all creation. Aham sarvasya prabhu. Matta sarvam pravartata. Everything is emanating from me. When one understands this fact in full knowledge, that is called bhava. He sees everything. He does not see anything except Krishna. Sabar jangam dakhe na dakhe tar murti. He sees the trees and the animals or the man, sabar jangam, everything he sees, but he does not see the tree, but he sees in that tree Krishna. That is bhava. Sabar jangam dakhe na dakhe tar murti, sarvatra sure tar ishtadev murti. Do you follow this Bengali? Yes. Savar means living entities which does not move, just like trees, plants, creepers. And jangam means those who are moving, animals, man, they move. So a devotee who is actually in bhava state, he may see a tree or an animal or a man, but he does not see the man or tree or the animal. He sees a part and parcel of Krishna. A Jivatma. Pandita Samadarshana. That is the stage of full knowledge. He does not see the skin or the dress. Just like when we talk with a gentleman, we do not see to the dress, we see the person as he is. That's a stage. That is called bhava. Buddha bhava samannita.